Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of Herro versus Sun Tzu, the Age of Mythology 1v1 Summer Tournament. We're dwindling down towards the end of the tournament, and each time I stream one of these matches, we knock off one competitor. So we're getting down to just about 6 or 7 competitors left from my streaming viewpoint. And tonight is again Herro versus Sun Tzu, best of 5. These are the recorded games. It's not live, and it's the round of 8. So the quarterfinals. So the winner moves on to the semis, and the loser is done. So Herro versus Sun Tzu should be a good match. Which actually kind of cool about these two players is they're both Loki mains, and they're both, I would say, probably pretty similar on skill level as far as like their Norse gameplay. However, I think that maybe Herro is potentially a little bit better with off Norse, and do remember there are no repeat gods, so being able to play with non-Norse will be important. It is a best of 5, so in order to win, unless you win all 3 with Thor, Loki, Odin, you're going to have to win with a non-Norse, and I think that's what probably would give Herro the edge here. And we are going to real quick just look at our brackets and see where we're at, and we are looking at round 3. Herro versus Sun Tzu, and I guess I should have reminded you guys this will have spoilers if you haven't watched some of the older streams, but Herro versus Sun Tzu. So Herro so far has had a pretty easy go of it. He's actually got a forfeit win in round 1, a forfeit win in round 2, and now he finally plays his first opponent in round 3. Now Sun Tzu has had a little bit harder of a time. He defeated Slayer Atlan in round 1, 3-1. He then had a very, very narrow victory, a really good series versus Jellyfish in round 2. And now we're in round 3. So in mobile delay, yeah. So gotta buy the first 2 rounds, a lucky guy, and now he has to play somebody for real. So round 3, Herro versus Sun Tzu. I got the first 3 games loaded up and ready to go, so we will maneuver our way straight over to Age of Mythology and get the first game going. So no repeat god choices. Each player can pick a map. So we are looking in the first game is going to be, oh man, I love this tournament. Team Migration, in which actually there isn't a team at all, so it's more like just migration. And this map, we've seen some Vinland Saga maps. It's kind of similar to Vinland Saga, just the middle isn't quite as important as compared to like Vinland Saga. I mean, I guess the fundamental background of the map is the same, but the map itself is quite a bit different. So we've actually got, each player will start with quite a bit of hunt, and that's 4 hippo, and that is juicy. And then also get just 1 gold mine though in that main island, but also a town center as well, and a lot of wood. So really, you got to move to the middle to get your gold. And of course, the middle map also has, or the middle island also has, the 2 extra town centers. So, man, I love this map. I love all of the non-standard maps. I wish they got so much more play. I don't know why Herro is killing 2 hippo at the same time. I think a little bit of villager mismanagement. But real quick, what are the gods we're looking at? So Herro is Ra, and Sun Tzu is Thor. So Ra v Thor on migration. I have to say, probably in the 15 years or so of Age of Mythology, as far as what I've seen, I haven't seen this like 1v1 matchup on this map. I don't even know if I've really seen any 1v1s on this map before, and that's awesome. So there's a lot of fish, and Sun Tzu is docked on the back side of his island. And hey, Bezor, perfect timing, and Ozone, hello. Well, welcome. Hopefully we'll have some good games. Right now, Herro, I don't know why he's scouting and not just empowering with his Pharaoh. But that's okay. No big deal. And he does have, you do start with the transport ship as well, so that does help with like scouting where your fish are and also getting to the mainland. So this is this is such a cool map. I mean, it'll play similarly to Vinland Saga, but not quite as cutthroat. But I mean, the gold mines are huge. You're not going to live very long with your initial gold mine on your base. What's up, Loki Zone? Why don't you put these maps in random games? Man, if we put this in the random map pool, there would be like a complete mutiny. Most people not very accepting of new things. But it would be awesome if these maps were like more standard or played more often. But yeah, the transition to the gold is what I see is the big thing for this game. And with the way the players are, the fishing is pretty safe, just because how far you'd have to go all the way around to get to the fish. Like unlike Vinland Saga, where both players like are on the same side, and then they both have to go the same direction to get the mainland. This one that has the mainland kind of dividing, and actually the mainland is pretty small. Like there's not a lot to it. And both town centers are in water range, and I think yeah, Herro's initial is in water range as well. So water is very important, but if you don't get a gold mine, you're kind of screwed. Like even if you try to do like maybe a fast heroic and do a market trade, there's not a very good trade route. So you're gonna have to get your gold from the mainland, and this is going to be cutthroat a little bit. Not quite as cutthroat as Vinland Saga because it's not quite as aggressive on the water, but to get your gold. And look at all these, like you got all sorts of lions in the middle of the map too. We might end up seeing these lions killing some villagers later on, which would be totally awesome. I don't think, as far as I'm aware, nobody's ever hosted a random Gaia, a random all map like competitive tournament. Maybe some clans have like kind of like a just for funsies, Sun Tzu's build a little bit off here. I'm also not sure why he isn't hunting from these hippo. I mean, you could just lure a hippo right here, and they do gather quite a bit faster than pigs. I'm also not sure why Sun Tzu didn't put his Osark on the mainland to build his temple there. I think that'd probably be a little bit better, just so that his initial free myth units are spawning here, and then also if he's making Hersier, they would just be here instead of having to cart them across on his little trade ship. I'd say probably this map would favor the Ra, I think, just because Egyptian generally benefits more from non-Egyptian in 1v1 from fish, and there's a lot of fish on this map, and it's kind of safe. But the Rock could have a hard time getting access to a gold mine. And another thing to note is that none of the town centers, well, this one is actually right next to gold. And actually what Herro should do, now that I'm thinking about it, is a shifting sands. Probably be the best thing that for him to do strategically is to shift sands pretty early on in classical age and take one of these town centers. Shift sands, Vills, Pharaoh, grab a town center, and then that's kind of an easy little map control thing. And 5-minute advance for Sun Tzu as opposed to a pretty slow advance. Well, 5:30. I guess that's not too slow. And now he's putting his Hersier and his Valk. We'll see how hard they want to fight on water. I think we'll probably see them getting their fishing upgrades, yeah. And we see Sun Tzu is already getting his fishing upgrade. And I would think Herro would follow suit soon. Yeah, he's already getting his as well. Finally watching a live stream. Well, that's good after a while. Well, good to have you. You tuned in right at the right time. We're just getting into this first game of our best of 5 here. And it's on Migration, which is just a cool map. I really like it. And where are these Vills going to go? Man, I hope these Vills get massacred by these wolves. And actually, these Vills might actually just get massacred by the Valk and Hersier. I'm a little bit... okay. The Valk will find it. Okay, alrighty. The Valk will find it. They might be able to hide in the ship, though, if Herro notices soon enough. The transport isn't too far away. We'll see if he notices. Herro is making a little bit more boats than Sun Tzu is. In our first raid, he will get maybe... Oh, this guy kind of playing block here. Oh... And got one Vil. If you want the bracket, hold on. Let me. If someone on Twitch puts that command for bracket, it'll show up in the chat. I don't think YouTube commands work. But Eon, hello, and CJP, good to have you here. Yeah, it is kind of similar to Archipelago in a 1v1. There we go. Loki's on. Loki's son helping us out with that. So the first kind of initial boat fight will happen over here. And actually Herro has the advantage as far as numbers, but Sun Tzu is on defense, so you would think that reinforcements would be better for Sun Tzu. And Herro should fight this. He does have the boat numbers, 8 to 7, and Sun Tzu probably just wanting to kind of hide underneath the dock. And Herro falls back. We also have one cabinet up there. And gets that one dock or boats, and nice to get that boat moved back. The water micro is all about like moving back the boat that's getting targeted. So we'll see kind of maybe a little bit of a dance from time to time where you're looking to send back like that one going back, and we can see those kind of go forward and don't get any attack for a while. So Herro maybe a little bit out microing right now. Getting some good trades, and yeah, Herro definitely doing a little bit better with his micro on these boat fights. Something I was never good at. The boat fights and me just, I don't know, we never got along. But Herro doing pretty well and taking some good trades there. He should probably just keep on pushing through. And oh, he is getting a little barracks there on the mainland. And Sun Tzu's got a lot of Vils all crammed up on this one wood line. It's not exactly good for his gather rate here. I mean, you can see how much of this is just spent just like walking around. You never want to combine more than like, I'll just throw out a number, like 10 on the same drop-off point or even the same wood line, just because you get so much path blocking and stuff going on. And now it looks like he's actually trading over more to the gold. And we'll look at Sun Tzu's eco. He has a ton of food. Yeah, you're right. Water is all about the micro. Ooh, lost his transport ship. So Sun Tzu has a ton of eco. But it's kind of poorly combined, where he's got 1,500 food and not a lot else, and his eco upgrade sick. He does have the second hand axe, and Herro might actually be aging or just grabbing town centers. Looks like he is aging and grabbing a town center. So Herro's eco management is a little bit better so far, where he's able to age up while Herro or Sun Tzu is stuck. And this is a big fight here, actually. Probably a losing fight for Herro. He's out popped here, and I don't know why he's choosing to just fight this, because he's kind of losing his boats pretty significantly, and not a good fight for him to take. And Sun Tzu grabbing a town center here, and yeah, Herro is just like sticking to this, and we've got a few boats idle down here. Sun Tzu may be making a few too many boats at this point though, because he's almost out of. In fact, he'll be out of gold in about 50 gold. He's going to have to transition to the mainland. And the mainland fight is going to be pretty important. And we see it down here that Herro is having his first landing and building a Migdal, and then also has a rock that he can just fly back and forth. And he looks like he's going to go for a shift. So he shifted all his Vils over. Versen, hello. Jotunheim, hello. And shifts over. That saves some Vil time and gets right on that gold mine. And Sun Tzu is going to have to very slowly try to transport his units over. I wonder if he knows he can fit them in the longboats. I think a lot of players don't realize longboats can fit 5 people. We'll see if he does that. But Sun Tzu, yep, he does know. He does. Look at him go. But the problem is he's behind on the landing on the mainland, and he might have a bit of a trouble securing. What in the Axemen are killing the water buffalo. And oh, we have a locust here. Ooh, solid locust, like 5 or 6 Vils. That's a pretty good locust. Oh, will he get this? Will he get this? It's close. This is T migration. Oh, no! You got just in time. Those axemen would have probably been able to stop that town center going up, but I'd say Sun Tzu is considerably behind because he is going to have a hard time mining from gold and keeping this up as well. And Herro is grabbing that town center. How did you count that? These vills are getting massacred by these lion, and the chariots are coming in to finish off some more villies. And if they can pinch off that ox cart there, that will be a little bit of annoyance for Sun Tzu, and actually properly microed, these will stay out of boat range as well. So Herro is in a tough spot. His gold has run out, and he's being rated on his gold, and yeah, they are looking to get that ox cart. And will they? Will they? Nope. Gonna run. Sun Tzu just will probably end up selling. Yeah, he just sold 600, 700 food just like that to get some gold. I would think that maybe Herro is selling food as well, possibly. He doesn't have a lot of food. Does have a second fish upgrade, as does Sun Tzu. Oh no, Sun Tzu's only got the first. Herro, though, is taking some bad. You don't typically want your chariots to be fighting longboats. Just making Ulsarks because he doesn't have anything else to build his units, and so Ulsarks are coming out. But yeah, these chariots fighting right next to the water is allowing Sun Tzu to gather gold. Sun Tzu might want to consider making a trade route, which he is, but I mean, it's such a bad trade route. I mean, look how short that is, but that's the longest trade route we'll get. And does he have? He has frost, and he might have to just frost this tiny little army just to save his town center. And here comes the siege ships. Is he going to frost? Yeah, I really enjoy these maps too that are getting played. It's a lot. Ooh, a landing over here. So the rock flying through was Vils and a priest. I'd say this probably, I don't know for sure. I'm gonna guess this was Herro's map. He seems to kind of like know what to do a little bit better. Like he kind of pre-planned for it. Yeah, let's get the Migdal shooting at the town center. Like, it looks like Sun Tzu is kind of out of luck already. Just a little too slow to get to the mainland, and he's getting pushed off pretty heavily. But I'd say this would be a pretty tough map to beat like a Ra on. And he's going... Buildings get a huge attack bonus against boats, and going kind of melee range with the siege ships is kind of getting them dead pretty fast. But yeah, Herro is blocking this town center from even being built, unless they... Okay, no, this one is still shooting, and yeah, he's getting more chariots, so... Unless Sun Tzu has something magical up his sleeve. Not quite sure what he's... Well, he is going up with Balder. But what's he going to have, like a 30 bill reg? I don't know how that's going to work out for him. And that's... I mean, the only thing that could save him is if he, like, Balder gets him control the mainland, and he can gold starve Herro. But Herro could probably get at least some sort of trade route and sell food to get his gold. But we'll see. So Balder is still about 45 seconds away, and Herro did kind of stop his assault up here and get the frost giant on the Petsuchos. There you go. I like it. I like it. Yeah, this is a crazy map. Mr. Greek, good to have you here. Ozone with his trademark better than... Oh, look at the lion getting in on the priest. I like it. The fifth is just random. So, yes, it can be an already played map. These vills are getting in. And Herro doesn't... Or Sun Tzu does not want to be losing his villies. Because every villi killed is one fewer Ragnarok. And this fire giant is actually, it's giving him some pretty decent value, killing quite a few axemen, and kind of gave Sun Tzu time, and now he's up, and we have the immediate Ragnarok. I don't know if even the Rag will be enough to finish this though. What kind of military upgrades? Just the Pierce armor upgrade. He doesn't have flaming weapons. He would really like to have Man, he would love to have flaming weapons. He just has frost. And frost probably the safer pick here. But, man, if he had flaming weapons, he could potentially run over the mainland. And, oh, we have frost coming in, or rain coming in, probably to prevent the frost. And we have building upgrades. That's very important when you're facing a reg. No building upgrades. One Migdol down. I would probably get on the... He doesn't want to really be spreading his units too much like this. You kind of want to focus one building at a time. Though the barracks does go down pretty quick. And actually, with the Migdol shooting at the fire giant, he tanks a lot of damage. And Sun Tzu doesn't have enough, though, to take this mainland. Like, even if he wins this, it's kind of just him winning to defend his mainland. And the big fight is here. And that was a nice rain, actually, because Sun Tzu would have liked to have used frost on all of this. Sun Tzu does get the mainland, or his original island, back, but we'll probably lose the middle island during all of this, and we have siege ships also that are kind of causing problems. Rocks kidnapping enemy soldiers, like get in the rock. And I don't know what Sun Tzu will do after this. He's kind of popped. He is building another town center. I mean, he has eco, like from his fish, but his trade route is pretty poor. We'll be able to transition to that one. I mean, what's it getting? 9 gold a trip. And he's losing his town center on the mainland. Fire Giant could do well against these. And just... Sun Tzu probably still selling a bunch of food. Yeah, it looks like he probably is still selling food. He still does have frost, though. Like, but did he lose his boats? I don't think he has a way to transport other than just that one. He's got a few boats here. He needs to get a transport ship. Here it is. So Sun Tzu's last attempt at winning will be to attack here and use frost. And Herro does have a lot of gold, so he will be able to make a ton of mercenaries. And he is aging up. Actually, the age up is probably a slight mistake here. Probably be better to have that 2,000 resources in like military, like axemen. And Sun Tzu must know or must think that time is of the essence, so he needs to cart these. Oh, did he get the transport ship upgrade? He did! And oh... Dropping off. Okay, okay. Frost, oh, that was probably premature. He should have waited to frost until the mercenaries came out, and the fire giant is left behind, which hurts. Because the mercenaries are what's going to do the damage. He should have waited until the mercs came out, or a few. I guess there's only 3. And here comes the fire giant. Now we have tornado being used. I don't know where he'll use. Probably just on the base here, if he gets line of sight. Wants to kill the pharaoh. Okay, so it kills that town center down. Oh, it's got the upgrade. Oh, fortified town centers came in. That might save the town center. And if he can't get the town center down, it's definitely GG, which it doesn't look like he will. So that fortified town center upgrade came in just in time. And look at this army in the back end. And Herro still has the tornado as well. Who picked this map? I would assume Herro did. Looks like he knows, kind of like he had a plan going into this. So that's the complete end of the reg. And Sun Tzu doesn't have much of an economy left. Its problem kind of all game was getting a gold mine on the mainland. And he got on this one for a little bit. Sun Tzu picked it. Very unusual. I wouldn't say, that would kind of surprise me, because I wouldn't even think this is a good Thor map. But, well, that's the end of the reg. So Sun Tzu, well, thank you for the help. Sun Tzu picking Team Migration. And he's not resigning. But, yeah, it's definitely an Egyptian map. Any map that you can kind of have safe fish generally will benefit the Egyptian. Plus, when you're raw, you get shifting sands to just instantly shift over to the mainland, and then you also get a rock, which you can just easily move your units anywhere, and that alone makes this a pretty strong Egyptian map, or at least a raw map. So definitely Herro played this pretty well, not actually picking it. I'm not sure why Sun Tzu is not resigning, getting in his big. How much gold is he getting a trip here? 19 gold a trip. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure, Greek. Maybe on paper it seemed a lot better of an idea than what actually happened. I mean, I can see the fast raid kind of being beneficial. He actually might have turned out differently, actually, if he would have had flaming weapons instead of frost. But it's hard to be able to say going into it that I should be doing flaming weapons. I think he probably used frost to maybe give himself a little bit of time. But if he had flaming weapons, it might have gone actually differently. Maybe. I mean, he would have definitely killed this. I don't know if he would have been able to get through everything, though, but would have been in a better spot. Oh, we have the forest fire here. Well, he did also have to clear out his base as well, because if he sends everything here and clears this out, which he might have, he wouldn't have had much anything else going on for him on his mainland. Because then he'd have the middle, which would be the water, but yeah, he had, or the gold, but yeah, that was, he had to because of these migdals. Those migdals were actually huge. And the problem also was just advancing a little bit too slow. Like if he had 1,700 food at one point, look at all these dead villas and stuff, and Sun Tzu is just holding on for kind of indefinitely here. But yeah, Sun Tzu just aged up a little too slow. Like if he could have gotten this middle secured a little bit better, he wouldn't have quite had to do such a panic reg so fast. But he was slow to get on the mainland, and that really cost him. And then Herro with a nice side build, also pretty good as well. And got the annoying siege ships out to kill this town center, but now we have Herro responding with his hammer ships. Why hasn't he conceded? I guess because he thinks he still has a chance. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is kind of wasting time, but we will give the game its due love. He's got another ship over here, and we see quite a bit of a trade route even from Herro as well. Yeah, he has no eco. I mean, I'm not quite sure what his plan is from here, but I assume the resign will probably be coming pretty quick. I have it blocked on my end as well. I prop my cell phone up against the bottom of the screen so it blocks the recorded game little bar. Kills this. You know, it might have actually benefited. There's the GG. It might have benefited him, being Sun Tzu, to wait to use Reg until after he had some upgraded siege ships. Could have, you know, maybe waited just a minute or so, and then like the upgraded siege ships along with the Reg, everything would have gone a lot faster. Like if he has siege ships here, I mean, these Migdals, the town center goes down, and this town center also goes down as well. But we will never know how that would have happened. So that is game one to Herro. So Herro wins the first game. Ravi Thor. Now, Thor is one of Sun Tzu's main gods, so he lost with one of his main gods, which does hurt. And we see he was up economically, but I think when it comes to the gold, yeah, this was his problem, is once his main gold ran out, he had a lot of idle time trying to get them to the mainland, and that's where the shifting sands helps the Ra, and then just was never able to get quite enough gold to do what he wanted to do, and that was it. Yeah, they do both main Loki, so hopefully we will see a really nice Loki mirror on some game. But we will move on to game number 2. So game 2 is Sea of Worms. They are bringing out some strange maps so far. So game 2, Sea of Worms, and Herro. Who was Herro? He's Gaia. And Sun Tzu, I believe, was Odin. Yeah, Sun Tzu, Odin. So Odin v Gaia on Sea of Worms. Sea of Worms, another non-standard map. As we can see, it's another kind of land-water map. It's actually not like a badly designed map. The one real goofy thing, as we can see, is that each player, instead of starting off with the tower, starts off with the fortress or hill fort. Now, the fortress hill fort, you don't get a ton of use out of it because you can't make anything out of it until the heroic age. It's more so just like a defensive building. But there it is. So like if you get a fast heroic, it's nice for the Odin anyway, because he will get some units out of this quick. Man, you don't like these maps? See, I love these non-standard maps. I mean, how many times can you watch Meta and Anatolia and get picked over and over? I mean, part of the game is also strategy, as you point out. And I think one thing that kind of has beleaguered the Age of Mythology community over the years is the resistance to different maps. And we kind of really, I mean, when you think about the maps that get played in standard rated games, there's really only like 4 or 5 different like map designs. So really, in order, all you really need is like 4 or 5 different builds, and there you go. Whereas you start playing some a little bit on abnormal maps, and mixes things up. But I mean, I understand it's not standard by any, for sure. But I like it. I mean, all the other tournaments are just, you know, the same maps over and over and over and over, and to the point where, oh geez, it's Set versus Zeus again on Ghost Lake, and now, oh, it's Set v Zeus again, and now it's Savannah. Same thing over and over and over and over. Can't get old. So a little bit of a combination here is gold and wood is getting combined. The one thing for Sea of Worms is that the fish isn't necessarily very good. And actually, Sun Tzu's fish are pretty poor. Herro actually got a pretty good fish roll, because Sea of Worms fish kind of spawns way away from the land for the most part, but they spawn pretty good for Herro down in the bottom. Loki is the god that randomly spawns myth units. Yes, that is true. Now, it's not exactly random. There is a reason why they spawn. I think which gets spawns though, or which gets spawned, is random. I don't think there's really a reason as to which myth unit gets spawned. The ox cart, he's trying to double up on the ox cart here, which works okay until you get to this this ox cart. He's trying to time it so that his dwarfs drop off, and then he moves it over to his wood, and then he'll move back when his dwarfs are, but now he kind of messed that up. Yeah, overall, like in the current balance state, probably Norse overall, outside of Loki, kind of struggle. Team games, they do a little bit better because your back builds and stuff, you get more value out of them. But 1v1, maybe Norse a little bit strugglesome here. Here comes the second ox cart. And the dwarves are coming here. Okay, so I think when it comes to maps, though, this map favors the Gaia. We'll see how soon Sun Tzu is even able to advance. And yeah, he's not even close to advancing. And the Gaia is already up a good amount. Gaia will be up right about, yeah, a little bit sooner than 4:30 it looks like. And Herro, on the other hand, hasn't even started his age up yet. So that's a pretty slow advance. I think it's partially due to his bad fish. I mean, he got kind of got hosed in the fish department, where, I mean, he probably would have been better for him just to dock here to begin with, but he didn't. He went down here first. But I mean, these were in line of sight if he would have sent his Ulsark down. So this would have been Herro's map choice as well, considering that Sun Tzu picked migration. And Sun Tzu is going to have a hard time. Drake dropped a new album, if anybody cares. Nope, I don't know if I've ever, I mean, if I have ever listened to a Drake song, I didn't know it. And we have the carnivore being used on the hill fort, and the trees being used on the gold mine. Now that's annoying. I do. Do I keep calling Sun Tzu Herro? You're right. When in these matchups where they both are normally the same god, I find that I mix the names up quite a bit just because I can't, like, I'm used to seeing Herro playing Loki, so where's the Earthseer when he needs it? There he is, and this very slow advance up at 510, and he's already pushed off of water pretty much completely. But we'll get on that Carnivora there. He should change his vills over to the Gaia forest. He actually would gather faster from the forest. It's kind of annoying. But he's kind of completely pushed off of water. I don't really know how he's going to hold it on. The only possible way would be if Herro stops making boats for an extended time period, which he's actually housed right now, doing his best impression of me, and trying to make a Mermillo hero. So he does have a barracks out. Yeah, I've never really gotten enjoyment. Look at this guy just tanking damage too. Being healed by the Galadria. Oh, man. So, is Sun Tzu? I'm not sure. No, you could do forest on trees if you want. Nothing ever said that you can't. It does suck, though he does have the second gold mine right here, so it's not really the end of the world. And he is trying to build, he actually has a lot of boats, does Sun Tzu. And Herro, yeah, we hear the auto queue get put back on, so he's putting the ship auto queue back on. And Herro will have to kind of start making boats again, which he's doing. Does have a barracks and a counter barracks. And probably should not really fight this. Fall back right to his dock so that he has time to get a few more boats out. But while this time that Sun Tzu was not fishing is to Herro's advantage, Herro also will have 2 more Carnivora to use. We might see one get used pretty soon, maybe? I'm kind of surprised he's holding on to his Carnivora here. We still also do have Forest Fire, I believe, yeah. Though there isn't really a great place to use Forest Fire. And even the water, with how the fish is formed, it's really not that great for even Sun Tzu to fight for. I mean, it's only more so he's just fighting so Herro doesn't have fish, because Sun Tzu's fish kind of bad. And he just lost his other dock too, so he's not going to be able to keep up with boat production anymore. And here he comes in with his little bit of units. He could forest fire and at least kill a manor, which I guess does help. But not having another dock will hurt him. You could also forest fire that little tree, though it would burn itself out pretty quick. And is losing this water fight here. He's mainly just being outproduced. 2 docks to now 1. Herro making a ton of idle docks though. Herro coming forward. I wonder if he's going to use his other Carnivore on this hill fort, though. So actually, with all the army away, he could Carnivore that and kill it. It's so annoying, these trees. You just should have just chopped them. And Sun Tzu is going to be completely pushed off of water, though he did really force Herro to make a ton of extra boats. So not a bad thing. But Sun Tzu's pretty far behind. He's getting pushed off of that gold mine there. He is hunting up in the top. Doesn't have any eco upgrades. And we've got Kalagia just floating around, keeping an eye on things. No forest fire ever used either, no. So yeah, Herro definitely in the driver's seat at this game so far. And I really don't see anything that Sun Tzu could do to kind of change the game around. I mean, it just kind of goes to just aging too slowly, but that was a little bit due to just Sun Tzu's poor fish. And that is the one downfall of some of these substandard maps, is they can spawn pretty jacked up at times. And definitely when you compare the fish spawns, I mean, Sun Tzu's fish really did suck compared to Herro's, which are just nicely lined up along the edge of the beach. He is doing forest fire on the trees here. It doesn't hurt his own building, and it's actually killing all of these Murmillo. And I think it's run out of damage that it can do, but the Murmillo are almost dead, but Sun Tzu just doesn't have anything else going on. And Sun Tzu, similar to last game, I think is kind of not wanting to resign for whatever reason. I don't know if he thinks he has some sort of magical way to come back. And now that the forest is burned, he can regather gold from that mine. But he finished hunting up here, and that's the only hunt for him on this map. There's not a lot of hunt. There's one boar here. Very low hunt map as well. Sea of Worms is one of those maps that's with maybe a little bit of tweaking. And this one Vil could actually like kind of boss on these units, or even these two throwing axemen could kind of kill all of them, just because of how low some of these are. Look at him. If you didn't know the health bars were so low, you'd be like, what kind of axe is this? These throwing axemen are just one-shotting all these Murmillo. But now they're shooting at the Terma, which isn't exactly the best thing for them to do. Although when you've got 7 throwing axemen on 1 Terma, it is a good odds for you. And Herro has a second town center. It does have some decent fish upgrades. Also has his fishing upgrade, and these throwing axemen are now way too far forward and just getting picked off just like that. So they are dead. And this gold mine will soon be done. And Sun Tzu is having to farm at 11 minutes, which as an Odin, you don't want to farm. Again, I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit of just not knowing the maps, but an Odin into a Gaia in this just isn't a good choice. Gaia in water is pretty strong. And I think that just comes down to, as I kind of touched on in the introduction of the match, which probably most people weren't around for, is that Herro is probably better than Sun Tzu at off-Norse gods. And in a tournament like this, that's kind of to Herro, well, it's not kind of, it is to Herro's advantage. So that Sun Tzu has to be picking his Norse, and on a map like this, that I would say Gaia versus Odin is not, this isn't really a Gaia or an Odin map at all. You don't even get any starting hunt. It's definitely in Herro's favor, and then now he's used up his Odin and only has his Loki left for Norse. And we have this kind of last fight here that's kind of the end of Sun Tzu's army. And will also be the end of Sun Tzu's gold mining expedition. Because they aren't going to get on that one, and we actually still have no more forest, Gaia forest to use. And that solidifies, and we got the resign. So 2-0 to Herro, just like that. Two pretty, well, the first game was kind of close in a way, but this one definitely not. Just way behind economically all game. I mean, this is not a good Odin map, but if you don't know the map, you might not be aware of it. But if you're in the quarterfinals of this tournament, you should probably kind of have an idea of what the maps look like. I mean, because the opponent might end up picking it. But yeah, when you talk about even the spawn, I mean, with how the fish spawned, it was a rough spawn for Sun Tzu. Not a good map for him. But that is 2-0 to Herro, and we will go to game 3. River Nile. What's with all these non-standard water maps? So River Nile is our third game, and Sun Tzu with a Zeus, and Herro with the Oranos on a River Nile, which, as we can see, the River Nile just cuts right through the middle of the map. And that is the only way to get across to the other side, is through the water. So water is actually pretty important. I guess it's not really a surprise, because if you want to do any sort of landings on the other side, you got to have water to get over. It isn't blind pick as far as I know. I don't believe so. The way I understand it is the player who picks the map will also pick his god, and then the other player will kind of get a chance in a way to kind of counter civ. Because if you're picking the map and then picking the god last, I mean, you can really screw over some players with your picks. So the person not picking the map should kind of be able to get to counter civ a little bit if he can. I'd say this is a pretty even matchup on this map. The Oranos' power would be the early attack on water. So if Sun Tzu can kind of last long enough to not get overpowered early and then have like a restoration to fall back on, it'd be good for him. Unfortunately, his dock placement not so good. He unfortunately docked on this side where the fish were over here, whereas if he would have docked on this side, the fish were closer to his side of the shore, being for Sun Tzu. But how was he supposed to know that, I suppose? Hut River Nile. Oh, a little bit of idle time here. Oh, that's actually quite a bit of idle time for Herro. In fact, even when he gets this house built, he doesn't even have the wood yet. So this is actually a little bit of a distance to walk for the fat Oranos citizen. So I don't know if I would necessarily... Oh, is there? There is. You're right. It's not the one alligator. There's two of them. Crocodiles, technically. But you're right. So he did have to go over here because these alligators, aka crocodiles, were playing defense. And I guess there's no crocs over on this side. I guess they're both here. But yeah. Do we have some elephants? And some more elephants. And Sun Tzu, you wouldn't normally see this moving to the hunt, but I think he's realizing that his fish just utterly suck. Herro's maybe slightly better, though they're kind of sharing a little bit. But Herro would have to be able to second dock to have some sort of decent grab at that. Late game, definitely this would favor the Zeus. I mean, Zeus via Oranos is pretty solid. Late game for the Zeus. Zeus would also have the underworld just to immediately hop from one side to the other, whereas, well, Herro would have Vortex 3 times that he could use, and then if he's able to get on each side of the map, he would be able to do like a sky passage over, which is kind of essentially an underworld, I suppose. You just would have to build one first. And Herro will be up a little bit slow, actually. Getting the long walk and then the idle time is actually slowing Herro down quite a bit. You would normally see the Atlantean getting about a 430, 435-ish advance, and this is going to be closer to 445 to 450, and that's pretty slow for Atlantean. So yeah, it'll be right at 448. And we'll see what our old buddy Herro is up to. kind of advanced time he's got. He's probably going to be even slower, actually. Oh, that's not Herro, that's Sun Tzu. Never mind. Jeez. Actually, they're pretty similar age up times. So even though Sun Tzu had to go down and get some hunt, which isn't necessarily quick, he actually is advancing pretty similar times to the Oranos. And now these alligators come into play. Here comes mean alligator number 1. And even if he doesn't lose a Vil, this does slow down his dock Vil. Uh-oh, she gotta run. Yeah, bolt. Bolt and alligator. There you go. Get your scout to take in the damage. Though you just run them in circles. Now the villagers have to chase all the way down there. And now we have an age up with Prometheus. Will he get this dock up in time? Oh, and get the Minotaur over here too. Uh-oh. Here comes Crocky. Oh, the shockwave, the bolt on the boat. Villagers further getting distracted by the croc, which finishes off the scout. Will this dock get built? Oh, it looks like it just gets up, but the death of a Villy. And that's a slow dock, and that is going to hurt Sun Tzu. The dock was up pretty slow, and we already have 4 boats to just 3. And he's kind of having, I mean, would like to even maybe get another dock somewhere, but he's not going to be able to at this point. So we'll see if Herro's able to keep the pressure. I'm kind of surprised he's staying back so much. He could really surround and get these attacked and killed with the numbers that he had. And the point where now it's, yeah, he should have. It's Zeus v Oranos, Mr. Panther. Yeah, he should have just pressured these boats and killed them when there was just 2, because it was 5-2. Even if you're fighting under dock fire, if you get those first few boats down, you'd have a consistent advantage. Yeah, he still has the boat numbers, but the larger the battle gets, and I don't know, he needs to push this though. Like, he's gonna wait too long, and then it's gonna be like a 8-on-8 battle with a restoration, and then he'll lose that. Like, Herro should have just pressed this so many times. Like, fight this. It's almost like he doesn't want to win the water, because, yeah, now we're going to have the restoration fight. Potentially. Not even actually, yeah, Sun Tzu won't even need the restoration. Because that's the Oranos power play, is the very early attack, because he can get those boats out so fast. But you wait too long. Oh, held on to the restoration too long and lost a boat. But that will get his boats all the way up to almost full health. Hey, what's up, Zebchi? Good to have you aboard for at least a little bit. And now the boat numbers are in Sun Tzu's favor. He is popped right now. He's at 55 pop, and we don't see a house being built anywhere, so hopefully he just loses boats and continues to be able to make new ones. But maybe he will notice at some point that he's popped. Maybe once you start seeing your resources build up, you should kind of realize, or just realize you're at 53 or 55. But Herro is getting pushed back and is grabbing a town center now. And it has been... his navy is gone, so yeah, Herro just being too defensive on the water kind of cost him, because yeah, he had plenty of opportunities to kind of isolate the ships over here and kill them, and he didn't. And now Herro is kind of lost water pretty much completely, but not all is lost. He does have a town center already being built, and there is a decent amount of hunt, at least down on the elephant side of things, down here. And oh, aha! I think he even deleted his transport ship too, because I never saw Sun Tzu kill a transport ship. So this is a surprise build here. Though if he doesn't get pressure on this town center, he might not get a ton of value out of it. I think he's waiting to get one more unit for a Valor. There's his Valor. Coming down to, does he have a line of sight of the town center? Well, I mean, he knows it's there. He's probably gonna, he should check on it, because that would be the natural thing to do as Sun Tzu. So a little bit of a raid here. He will have Shockwave up in 30 seconds, though. The Minotaur should probably come down. Oh, Shockwave in 24 seconds. I don't know why he's chasing that one Vil so far. Like if the Murmillo are on this town center, they would keep it down. And Shockwave in 13, 12, 11, 10. Oh, they get back just in time. Oh, taking this town center too. Man, this is a greedy dude. Shockwave, 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 2, 1. Shockwave this thing. Oh. What are you doing, Shockwave? There we go. 27. It was at like 2740 out of 2800 health. But we got the heroes showing up. They will do quite a bit of damage. But this is slowing down Sun Tzu quite a bit. And what are we looking at? 2700? We're still at 2700. It's not getting built right now. We're at a standstill. I'm just looking at the HP bar. It's actually going down now. But I mean, Herro is losing units while Sun Tzu is just building. Okay, kills another Villy. And that will slow down the town center build, actually. This does give a time to Herro to get that town center over there, though. And yeah, about time more Villies show up to build this thing. And he's losing another Villy. Oh, here comes the Prom to do some crush damage. Man, this fight is really getting me going. I love this. Oh, the Promethean really knocking that town center's HP down. Oh my, this is turning into a very good trade now for Herro. Very good. I mean, he's killed probably 3 or 4 Villies. And so many of them have just... Oh, he needs to get back on the town center, though. Oh, he turned too late. Oh, and oh, the Minotaur shows up and is getting in on this town center up here. And the Minotaur does a ton of damage to the town center. The sunk cost fallacy. You might have to maybe... I can kind of guess what maybe you're talking about, but I'm not exactly sure. Enlighten us, Mr. Sigma. Will this town center go up? It will. This ended up actually catching Herro up quite a bit after losing the water. Because that was a ton of villager time spent just building and building and building and building, along with about 4 Villies dead. When you overinvest something because you've already invested into it heavily. Okay, and oh, Sun Tzu is up Apollo. It's a very quick advance, and he promptly will lose his Manticore. Well, what he should have done is just set more Vils over here. Like, well, where was his Vils? I guess his wood cutters were way over here. But, and he should have just set more there. And he just, I mean, he was at 2,700 for so long. And, oh, these heroes, though, are now getting picked off by the Trireme. But you hate to basically lose your mana core like that. And I'm kind of surprised that he aged up to age 3. I mean, that's a lot of resources, and you don't really get a ton of value out of that. Let's see what Sun Tzu's looking at for his gold, because his gold mine, yeah, he's only got 100 gold. Though what he could do, actually, is build a Pegasus, and if he's kind of finding himself gold block on his base, he's got Underworld, where he could actually just Underworld over here and grab a gold mine on this side. And there is the Pegasus. That's a lot of myth units, though, but we've got all 3 heroes out, and they will do pretty good on all these Promethean. There you got, was it Heracles or Hercules? Heracles. I think Hercules is Roman. And yeah, not a good fight. Just the heroes tank some. I mean, these Terma were shooting at Odysseus that entire time. Yeah, we're gonna see the Underworld come up here, it looks like. Rather than Sun Tzu really bothering with his town center, we'll probably see an Underworld And yeah, he should not be up there. Because actually, he would do quite a bit of damage up here. Because all of Herro's military units are down here and his military buildings as well. And even if we just look right here, I mean, this is a lot of stuff to make go idle. So this could turn very, very interesting. Boat upgrade. Upgrade your towers though, my man? He's hunting as well. Kind of surprised he's hunting and not just getting his next fish upgrade. Herro is continuing the pressure. This is the River Nile, Mr. Nasty. I like it. I mean, this is, let's be honest though. So when you look at this map, it sucks, but how has this game gone so far? This has actually been a cool game. And our last River Nile game was really cool. And so now we have the big underworld over here. And gets a couple villas idle, and we'll get these two running around too. And then there's one more villa here. And so now it's almost, ooh, I like this though. The attacking the underworld. That's big. He's going to have to send his units back, but now we got the tower upgrade. Would like to see maybe a villa repaired or something. And get the repair on, but shockwave. Yeah, kill that vill, kill that gill, kill that vill. Kill that vill. That's repairing. Oh, if he would repair it, he could say, oh, they all went in. Oh, the underworld down. But he did get these villas across. Yeah, the unupgraded hips, you're right, are ugly. Wow, so the underworld is down. But we do have villas over here now. And that was a lot of Terma killed. I don't think it was a misclick. I think he thought it was too late to repair, so he wanted to send the vills through. So I don't think that was a misclick. I think he did that on purpose, and maybe he would not have gotten it up in time. Or repaired it. I mean, the underworld, even though the repair rate was nerfed, it is still pretty fast. But despite kind of all the troubles we've seen Sun Tzu on the land, let's not forget he does have the water, and the water is huge for him. Although Herro is at 3 town centers, one of them being Sun Tzu, but now we have this forward build. And Herro would really like to prevent this from going up. We actually have some pretty weak villies building this. That one's dead, this one is almost dead. And there's only 3 vills left. Actually should just ignore the military units and go after the villies. I don't know if Herro doesn't know how about all tests, so will he get... I don't think he's going to get this off. And that is the end of the fortress, so no more forward build, but on the other side of the shore, because Herro is now focusing up here, we have this town center going down based on the Zeus hoplites with the bonus damage versus buildings. And that town center will be going down, and Herro does not have the units to defend this. So after all of that, all of the excitement and everything that has happened so far, we're kind of going to go back to solidifying what has happened, and that both players will now finally have control of their own base again. And oh, these crocodiles, along with the hippocon, kind of double teamed on these citizens, which I didn't see. And yeah, Zeus definitely comes through late game. This is kind of a high value raid here though. 3 citizens and maybe a 4th if Herro doesn't pay attention. Oh, that one shouldn't have died, and Sun Tzu could potentially get at that one too. And yeah, losing the town center and your citizen and your forward build here, that will hurt quite a bit, along with the fact that he's lost 4 citizens over here if he's not careful. Ouch! Ouch, 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 ouch. 5 citizens in this corner of the map. And 2 of them for sure were just, these last 2 for sure were just Herro not paying enough attention. And that hurts, because he doesn't have water, and while he was up economically based on, well, land eco was better with his 2 town centers, losing 5 citizens, which is kind of the equivalent of 15 to the Greek. That is a major loss, and that will put Sun Tzu ahead by quite a bit. Sun Tzu has a couple eco upgrades. We do have a fight again for the water, but the fight, biremes versus, well, these siege ships shooting at the half-built dock certainly doesn't help things here for Sun Tzu's side of the story. And we got these two just kind of distracted by that fishing ship as well. Oh, this one is also going to shoot at this dock. Like, why don't you just shoot at these ships, my man? While they're busy half killing a half-built dock. And oh, the hoplites coming through. So now we have a landing again. Looking for some mayhem that they can cause, and they will actually stumble upon these citizens right away. Now Herro does have an army to defend, so this should be okay. He doesn't have any villies over here anymore anyway, so that should also be okay. Eco upgrades are average-ish. Herro, Sun Tzu's still killing that half-built dock. What's Sun Tzu's eco looking at though? Any age up soon? It does suck that he used his underworld, but Hyperion, okay. Oh, watch out for this dude though. Oh, you kinda gotta protect your villies though. Another landing down here, and one more citizen done. Ooh, this is going to be a nice raid. I mean, they will be able to respond, but this will be some idle citizens, at least for a little bit. What kind of relic we got sitting here? Siege weapons cheaper. Okay. What in the world is this citizen doing? So 2 more citizens dead and kind of a very poor landing here. And these hoplites, I guess, really aren't doing a ton of damage. We had the Murmillo chasing to kind of finish it off pretty quick. But lost 2, that's a second citizen that he lost there. So Herro has lost a ton of citizens. Like, and he lost 1 here, 5 here, 6, 7, 8, and 2 more. We've seen him lose at least 10 citizens, which, again, the equivalent of about 25 to 30 non-Atlantean villagers. That's a ton of citizens to lose. But he is retaking the water, which is what he needs to do given the state that the map is right now. And actually this Nereid does okay against siege ships. Siege ships don't get any sort of bonus against the Nereid. And the Nereid special actually does decent damage, but now she's getting picked off by this fortress. And also another little fight over here. Is killing a lot of fish, and actually Sun Tzu's fishing is pretty much stopped. But the Atlanteans with their weaker boats do hurt this kind of fight for the water. Oh, and a trade route that's 38 gold. It's very pop inefficient. What in the world with all those villies? Is he trying to get 200 favor by the time he ages up, or what? And they land and then hop right back in. Nope, not here, boys. Let's try down here. Herro actually needs to get a transport ship out because he's got the superiority as far as land's concerned. But his units just being defensive aren't really helping him. I guess they'll help here. And maybe attack these vills or something. There you go. Yeah, they will get maybe a couple of them back in the transport. And Herro is up Atlas, which is actually Helios. So that gives him a Vortex, 3 of them actually, and also a Man of War, who is pretty useless when it comes to war, actually. But yeah, Herro is actually overpopped with the... Why isn't he building this town center? I kind of... little bit mystified because he's feeling the population hurt right now. I mean, he has the eco to do stuff, but oh wow, so he's just deleting his units. Like, he probably could have built this town center a very long time ago. And he deleted his Satyr and 3/6 Murmillo, which you don't quite want to see stuff like that happening. Guess this Manowar does at least kind of tank damage, but its attack is so pitiful. Like, what is its attack? It does 25 hack, but boats... I mean, 25 hack, and it's a very slow attack, too. No, he doesn't actually do much damage. I guess he tanks damage. I mean, if you're not going to micro and you're going to shoot at the Man of War, I guess that is beneficial for you. And, yeah, don't get them in there. I guess that's only 3 Murmillo. But they might not make it to the other side. Nope. Down with the ship. Yeah, the Man of War is such a sucky guy, myth unit. They do say the captain always goes down with the ship, so I guess all 3 of those Murmillo were captains. But Herro is fighting back on the water and actually fighting really hard, and still just like as slowly as possible grabbing that town center. And I think Sun Tzu is realizing that he kind of went over crazy on his favor for a bit. I guess now he is pumping it into Colossus. If he loses control of water, you'll have a hard time getting these Colossus over. Like, both players really should be focusing on the water. Like, even this little side build here, I don't think... Win the water first. Get the water run, 1. And then use the water to support your landing. Oh, yes! Yes! The crocodile! Alligator crocodile thing. I like it. And of course, the RNG gods, of course, made it so that the one vill that was almost dead out of all of these had to be the one that was closest to the old croc as well. Yeah, like, see how... okay, we got a very... I mean, yeah, you use Chaos just on 1 Colossus, and then all of his units are fighting that Chaos Colossus. And instead, he should just be trying to win the water, which is hard as you're Atlantean. This Colossus being such a jerk. I think one thing a lot of players don't realize is that there are upgrades for your hammer ships and biremes. Like, you always see people get the siege ship upgrade, which is a really good upgrade, but there also are upgrades for your hammer ships and your biremes as well. Which, if you're gonna fight water so heavily like on this, definitely worth it. The fight here. I mean, if Herro can take the water, he could potentially come back, because the water is big. This is such a terrible, not a good map for a trade route. Of course, Herro's isn't much better. What do we got? 38 gold for Sun Tzu. Meanwhile, Herro has 1 for 44. So Herro's is slightly better. Yeah, I think it is Artemis that has a boat upgrade. Osiris has 1, and then there's a few Norse ones too, I think, late game. I think maybe Tyr gives 1. A lot of Fanatics though. How are these guys looking for upgrades? Yeah, I think it is Tyr. Big fight here. Needs to value the water. Fanatics do pretty good against all things human. And Herro is now transitioning to a really big boat army, and that's good. Should also consider putting maybe a couple like protective towers. Towers do a ton of damage to boats, as do fortresses as well. And actually this build is kind of surprisingly getting a lot of attention from Sun Tzu. It's Balder that has it. Okay. Yeah, Hera, but however though, Madeira, I think the Plenty Vault is a very big god power, and the Colossus as well is very good on this matchup. With as bad of a trade route as you get late game, you get a little more value out of your Plenty Vault with the gold trickle. It is tier? Balder tier, who cares? It's something. Oh, there's a transport ship over here. Yeah, and the Colossus aren't even upgraded yet. You should really get the upgrades. They're so good. Herro is finding himself a little bit hurting for eco. And Sun Tzu is not. He's actually fully popped out and still has eco to spare. Not getting your boat upgrades. 2 hack and 24 hit points. So it's decent upgrade there. Nothing that I guess is really going to be super crazy. Can Medusa turn a boat to stone? No. Hey, what's up, Mr. Dr. Pharmacy? No, I don't think so. And we do have this kind of build here, but the Hika Gigantes is ready. He will pound them towards the shore. There you go, and then get back at him. Herro needs more docks. Alright, alright, alright. Kills that, kill that, kill that. Yeah, that one's dead too. Trying to do another build over here. But water is the first importance. This gold mine is out. Geez, you know what? Let's just solve this problem. You guys are going to argue about it forever. Yeah, that's not tier. Where is it? Is there one? Yeah, there it is. Balder, Arctic Gale. Yep. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this little fight here. Uh-oh. Okay. Got one Vil here. Until this build gets cleared out, we might kind of have a little bit of a stalemate stall for a while. Which it's kind of cool though. We're getting a big, pretty hefty land water battle right now. The land battle right here, the water battle right there. And oh, this citizen getting smacked. Yeah, the serpents are the best water myth units. They do a ton of damage, especially like you get them on the shore and they start shooting at like enemy trade routes. You get so much value out of that. Odysseus is getting killed. We've got fully upgraded hoplites. Yeah, blue is pretty much won. Herro is kind of struggling with eco a little bit. I mean, the late game Atlantean eco starts to fade away. He doesn't have his third farm upgrade. Also, maybe we have a chaos somewhere. Where was chaos used? So chaos used up here. A bunch of boats chaosed, which is helpful. 4 boats is pretty good to chaos. And I'm docking these Vils right underneath this fortress. I don't know if he's going to try to like sneak them back here. And oh, we're having, okay, the vortex switching sides. So the vortex going over here. We'll kill that. Would have liked to seen him maybe vortex a little bit further down and then just send the Hika Gigantes up here, because now his entire army is out of position. They need to come down here. Like if he would have gotten in the trade route, pretty good vortex. And these Vils need to build. Build, 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 build. There you go. Okay, the responding towers. Does Herro have line of sight of that? He does not have line of sight of those Vils building. Oh, we just saw him real quick. And nope, he has not noticed these Vils building the towers. Now he sees them. He is getting in on the trade. Lost water, though. This army from blue, I know is coming. There it is. Okay, so the fortress does get built. Needs to get on Bellerophon. That Bellerophon will do so much damage. Unupgraded Arcus, though. Like, Skady Matrius did play. I haven't done them yet. They might be my next stream, depending on what time I have. Okay, so this is a nice little build here. But I don't know if you'll be able to survive all these super powerful, all the way upgraded Greek units. I mean, he's got all the myth units, or not the myth units, the mythic techs for the hoplites. He's also got all the armory upgrades. Meanwhile, the armory from Herro is not looking very nice at all. And he's also got like unupgraded Arcus. But he does have landings on both sides. And still fighting on the water. Yeah, medium Arcus is really bad. Really, really bad. Herro just doesn't have the eco. That's the problem with late game Oranos, is that as the game goes on, the eco upgrades are less efficient because the Atlantean does not get any of the carry capacity upgrades that other civs get. Yeah, the fully upgraded Greek units against the non-upgraded Atlantean just aren't not good for the Atlantean unit. So once Sun Tzu kind of clears up these builds, he can focus on the water. And as Greek, he has the stronger boats, so he should be able to take it. He also has a much better economy. And 3-3-3-0. I don't think Herro's going to win, which is going to be a 2-1. Sun Tzu has 3,600 food. Should maybe consider like deleting a few Farmvilles or something. Farmville. After this game, maybe I'll just stream Farmville instead. The only Twitch Farmvilles. These citizens trying to hide in the corner. Okay, so Herro is trying to use this time of distraction to regain the water. Well, carry capacity matters because, not for the Atlanteans, but what I mean is that all of the upgrades affect non-Atlantean units more because of the carry. So hand axe for a Greek is a better technology than hand axe for Atlanteans because it also improves carry capacity. And as the late game goes on, that's why the Atlantean economy really starts to fail, is because they aren't getting that additional carry capacity boost that all of the other... Oh, we have a wonder that all of the other gods or cultures are getting. So for example, carry pet capacity, he's getting 8 additional carry capacity for wood and gold, which is I mean, that's really good for the Greek gather rate. Also, husbandry gives an additional 15 carry for farms, which is also a huge upgrade as well. So the later the game goes, the worse Atlantean get. I mean, you're right, it's not 3, but when you figure they're not having to drop off, it probably mathematically at the beginning of the game is pretty close to times 3-ish. So Herro has firm control of the water now, but we have Sun Tzu building a wonder, and we would all probably in stream and in chat would wonder how the wonder will get killed, because he does, I guess, have a vortex. 2 of them left, and theoretically I guess he could vortex like 15 fire siphons, which, by the way, he is Helios, and Helios gives some very strong fire siphon upgrades. Okay, so Herro has, though, still not much of an economy. He's been struggling economically for a while. And we can see, even with these units, the flaming arrows does give a slight attack bonus, I do believe, against ships. Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it does actually help Toxotes and Odysseus. Yeah, the vision will... Well, no, I don't think vision will be too much of a problem as long as he keeps water. Because he could, like, get the siege ships in on this wall and then send in, like, a Contarius. We finally get the Sky Passage. And we got these hoplites. I think Sun Tzu does have line of sight of that. Yeah, he does. He probably has. Oh, he does have both of the line of sight upgrades for the towers. So he has line of sight of this. So he knows that's over there. And we'll probably, unless Herro has a big army somewhere, all he's got are these fire siphons. Herro won't necessarily be able to defend this. Oh, does he have Oracle as well? I don't. Oh, yeah, he does. So that's a ton of line of sight. Yeah, Oracle. The line of sight is big. I think people underrate even signal fires and carrier pigeons as well when it comes to upgrades. Oh, but all these boats up here is meaning that Sun Tzu can build down there. Theoretically, Sun Tzu could eventually take the water just based on his better eco. I mean, he is getting a lot of value out of the Plenty Vault. I mean, to the point where he actually has way too much eco. He's got fully upgraded Colossus now, and I mean, when you just think about it, how is Herro going to really do a landing? And we do have a Chaos. Get some units. What kind of sucks is that a Chaos unit doesn't retain its upgrades because they go to Gaia, and Gaia doesn't have any upgrades. So it would be nice to see like fully upgraded Chaos Colossus roaming around, causing mayhem. So Herro is trying to get line of sight. If he has... Oh, is that going to be Contarius in here for line of sight? Drop off, drop off. Oh, just citizens. Like, really, I think Herro's play here, if he wants to win, is to build his own wonder. It sounds really lame. Build his own wonder. Get like 20 fire siphons, and then send in a Contarius to get line of sight, and then fire siphon it down. Fully upgraded fire siphons with Helios's upgrade do the most damage of any siege unit in the game. He has a nice ship mass here. Never got his trireme upgrade though, or I guess bireme. These citizens dying, drops them off just for them to wander through and die. These Colossus just taking damage forever. And we got all these hammer ships coming up here. Colossus still massacring all these units. Herro has a lot of units that are just wasting population right now. I think okay, here is his first Contarius, and it will be able to... Oh, he finished walling off everything, it looks like. I don't think he'll be able to Contarius his way into the base now. Nice walling. Far enough away that the water units can't kill it. And yeah, the Contarius are realizing they can't fit through, so it's going to have to vortex, kind of a low value vortex over there, just on the other end of the wall. And by the time they walk down here, in fact, we have a wall around the Wonder as well, so these destroyers won't really get any damage. He's not going to get very much value at all out of this vortex. We'll get a little bit of fire siphon damage. Does have, so like 13.8 crush damage plus 13.8 crush damage from siege engineers. It gives a grand total of 82 crush damage. That is a lot of crush damage. These destroyers are trying to find a way in, but they're not. We can see fully upgraded building. Does do... My glass is half full, I'll say it did 3/4 or a quarter damage. So it only has 3/4 of his health left. But not enough, and if he wants to get another vortex in... Yeah, the destroyers never even got on like a wall, they just kind of stood there. Because here's the thing, is that with this gap in the wall here, they actually can reach the Wonder, but they're all bugging out because they can't get there. So they're all just doing nothing. He's got a gate so he can repair through the gate. And got this one lone destroyer giving line of sight. I'm sure Herro or Sun Tzu has line of sight of him. Yeah, he does, but he might not have noticed him. So, but let's say hypothetically that Herro, with his very terrible economy, is able to kill the Wonder. All Sun Tzu has to do is just build another Wonder, and Herro would have no way of killing it. So we will end up seeing a Sun Tzu victory here. I mean, if Sun Tzu actually were to like start doing landings and like fight normally, he would just roll over Herro at this point. And uh-oh, this destroyer has been found out. So he's getting line of sight. Here comes the last vortex right next to the town or the Wonder. Not much to vortex though. But we'll do some damage. These Eka Gigantes, again, you're not going to get any value out of your melee units here. Other than just like smashing the units away. And you can see that even though it's so few fire siphons, look how much damage they ended up doing. To the point where the Wonder is like kind of close to getting destroyed. Like we're all the way down to... I can't read, your text is in the way. Like 2,000 hit points. And not a 1,000. It's actually under 1,000 hit points, so it actually almost died. And that really wasn't even a great vortex. I mean, what did he have? Like 6 fire siphon? And almost killed it. To the point where if he would have built his own Wonder, he didn't have the eco for it, and then just waited till he had like 20 fire siphon and managed to, like, I don't know, somehow magically get some in. Could have potentially won, but now doesn't have any units to, well, he doesn't have a vortex anymore, does he? Nope. No more vortexes. So all Sun Tzu has to do is just kind of continue to wall up his base, and how in the world is the Atlantean going to get down here? So yeah, he did actually. That ended up being a lot closer to killing it than I thought. It was down to under 1,000 hit points, so just to like 5 or 6 more shots. But I mean, it would mainly just be like a moral victory if he kills the Wonder, because even if he kills it, he's still going to lose. I try not to play fast. I might in this point, because we're really probably going to have a whole lot of nothing going on now, unless Herro decides to resign. Because he's never going to reach the Wonder at this point. I mean, we got fully upgraded walls. And you got these units just kind of mindlessly roaming in. I like to see Herro just build a Titan just for lulz over there on this side. Sun Tzu with just a ton of eco. And now we're kind of like descending into the abyss of River Nile, where it eventually becomes just a Wonder. Whereas if Sun Tzu were actually just to like fight and play normally, he would just absolutely roll Herro at this point. But he is contenting himself to just defend and lay down more and more and more and more walls and fortresses and towers, to the point where he could just finish all this and just go AFK and then win the game. Because how is Herro? I mean, I don't even know why he's making a destroyer. I mean, if you guys could tell me how in the world a destroyer would ever get in melee range, that would be awesome. But I don't think they will. I might end up, yeah, probably just put it a little bit on play fast, because there ain't nothing gonna happen here. Deleting all his boats. Here comes the landing. Land. This hippo blocking your way. Alright, we'll see what these guys are able to do. Well, they gotta kill one barracks. Now they'll kill the next. Now they'll get to the wall. Now they're all made heroes. Okay. They've made it. They've made it past the first defense. He doesn't even have the last Pierce upgrade. So now what are they gonna do? So maybe make their way through this armory. Okay. And reach the wonder, and then actually if you're going to attack some part of a wall, you attack the gate. The gate's the weakest. Okay, alright, we did get a few shots on it. And that is a GG. So we are 3-1 on a River Nile game that was exciting to start off and then kind of slowly dwindled away into boredom towards the end. So 2-1. So at least it's not a sweep. So let's take a look at the background here. All resources. Herro ends up ahead just because Sun Tzu wasn't really doing much with his eco towards the end of the game. Herro actually ahead early as well, even with Sun Tzu. I mean, that was an exciting early game, really cool, but kind of just dissipated at the end, and we could see Herro just throwing away units after units after units, and was never quite able to do anything. And kill-loss ratio 473 to 310, that hurts. So we are at a 3-0, so I will update our little scorecard here so we can kind of know what's been used and what hasn't been used while we transition over to game 5. So what's up, everybody? And let's get our gods loaded up here, because do remember, no repeat gods. So what was that last game? It was Oranos Zeus. So let's get a Zeus Oranos out here. Game 3 was that no, that was game 3. Game 2 was Sea of Worms, and that was Gaia Odin, and then game 1 was Thor Ra. So we've got Herro on the left, so we went Ra v Thor. We got Odin v Gaia. And then Oranos v Zeus. And then we just got to put the wins in. I think I get way too much entertainment out of doing this little scorecard here. This will really become helpful when we get to the semifinals, which is a best of 7. So if we go to 7 games, how in the world is that upside down? They're going to have to be using 7 different gods, and that can really start, dang it, I'm struggling here, really start kind of screwing with players when they're, I mean, you're getting down to like your 7th best god. That's way down there. So let's get our game 4 loaded up into this thing here. Will game 4 be a Loki warrior? You're right, because both these players do main Loki, and I would think Sun Tzu would have liked to have saved Loki for like a last game, although he didn't. He could have picked it that game and didn't. But this map will be Herro's map, and let's see what we get. So I have to go to my downloads and get this last game 4, and we'll see if it's the last game. So game number 4. So I got that loaded up, and will we see a Loki war? So yeah, both players main Loki, and neither has chosen Loki yet. So let's see. Get my water, and to game 4 we will go with Herro up 2-1. Dang it, I always do that. All right, so game number 4. Jotunheim, yes, I love it. Jotunheim. Oh my goodness. And it is Loki v Loki. So Loki v Loki of all maps, Jotunheim. Like if we were to see a Loki v Loki battle, I would think Jotunheim would be like the last one that you would actually see it. So this was chosen by my sources would tell me this was chosen by Herro. So we've got a Loki v Loki match on Jotunheim. Oh man, this is great. I'm not sure. I would think it was Herro. I'm pretty sure it was Herro that chose this. So Jotunheim. Typically, you see this in like your casual game with friends where you do like a 6v6 Jotunheim or a free for all Jotunheim. Well, now in this tournament, we have a Loki v Loki Jotunheim. Man, I love this. And Jotunheim actually, as I recall, has decent hunt. And I'm seeing one pack here, one pack there, a couple bears, some deer down there. And oh, you're right. I usually do that as well. I forgot to text that in. You're right. I'm sorry. I have room to text that in, but I sometimes forget to put that. Will we see Heimdall? I doubt we will. This is kind of a broad location to wall off. So I don't actually think we'll really see that unless somebody's able to get the edge. But Loki v Loki. So you guys wanted Loki v Loki, and that's what we got. But yeah, my apologies, Jeff. I will try to remember that after this match and then coming forward for our next games as well, because I do have room. I would assume we'll end up just seeing Forseti for both. Alright. Yeah, Heimdall is good for pushing. And if you could get a defensive wall up, I guess Heimdall becomes pretty solid. Villagers carry more food as one relic, and the other one is a pair of golden lions, so nothing too great. Do have four cattle hanging around over there. Any more cattle? Nope. How many cattle does our friend in blue, Mr. Sun Tzu, have? So Sun Tzu is the bottom, and Herro is the top. So Loki v Loki. Yeah, they probably will. I wonder if one of the players will try to like rush wall it. I just think that it would be hard early on to defend the whole wall segment, and then you're kind of wasting gold for that. Now Herro has you spy? No. Oh, no. Sun Tzu used spy on Herro's Olsark. This is a very precarious hunt spawn right here in the middle. But everybody does have those hunt spawn, and then that one down there. And actually some kind of nice hunt for Herro. He actually had this hunt spawn kind of naturally leads into this one. And then if he really wants, he does have an extra 300 courtesy of these wolves as well. So that could help, as opposed to Sun Tzu, who went to that hunt spawn down there, and his next hunt spawn is up here. So it's a little bit rougher for his kind of initial transition. And there they are. So, but Herro did a nice job of actually splitting his hunt, and is building a very forward temple. I wonder if he'll like wall just from here to here. Could do that. Who will age up faster? That is the question. Sun Tzu is up about 430. Herro is up about 437. So Sun Tzu just slightly faster. And oh, Sun Tzu is building a wall. No, what do we have? We got Forseti for Herro, and then Sun Tzu also for Forseti. So unfortunately, no Heimdall like Mr. Sigma was wanting. So no Heimdall, just Forseti. And Sun Tzu is trying to build this entire wall segment here. And yeah, if you were going to do for all of these wall segments, you'd think we might actually consider being the one to go Heimdall, but he's not. And that is a decent amount of gold that he's going to be putting into all of this walling that I don't think he will ever be able to quite complete. Because we're getting close. Yeah, about 10 more seconds and Herro will be up. And now we have Sun Tzu is up and is building a pretty forward barracks. So we're going to have a pretty fierce fight here, I would think. And we'll see who is able to push through and win. And Sun Tzu trying to finish off that wall. Here comes the Ulsark coming forward to kind of see what's going on for Herro. And you remember this is match point. If Sun Tzu loses, he's done. Is Sun Tzu going to get housed? 33 to 35. He will be housed unless he hurries up and builds his next house. Is housed. Herro is not housed. We're gonna have a troll battle here. There come the panic houses, kind of, in a way. But watch out, don't want to lose here. So he did wall this off. But we'll see if the forgetting of the houses will allow Herro to take advantage of this. And you would like to see Sun Tzu defending this a little bit better. And oh, he went way too far forward there. He is at the numbers disadvantage. He does not want to fight this. He wants to stay behind his wall. And this is not a good fight for Sun Tzu. I don't know why he's taking this. Like, by numbers, he's way behind. Ouch! And just one fight like that to start off the game can, like, in a Loki v Loki match, that can be like just the game right there. I mean, I don't know why he would go to all that trouble to wall everything in and then just fight outnumbered on the wrong side of his wall. That really made no sense to me. And that fight combined with the forgetting of his walls, or it's not his walls, forgetting of his houses, and that's why he was out popped. And like, why would you wall that off and then not just stay behind it, especially after you knew you were housed? And now he's gonna lose the forward base, and I mean, it's kind of sad, but in a game like this, just one mistake like that, technically I guess it was two combined, forgetting the house and then fighting under popped, that can basically just decide the game in a Loki v Loki, where you lose that first battle and you're just outnumbered for the rest of the game. And also because he forward built, and then now he also put a bunch of resources into a wall that just never really helped at all. So, I mean, this is a bunch of buildings, wood that's being wasted, gold that's wasted, army that's wasted, and he's got to catch back up somehow. Like, we're talking 500-600 resources at a military disadvantage. So things are looking not so good for Sun Tzu. And you see 87 pop for Herro, and then Sun Tzu only 46. So Herro is almost like double the population right now, and just contending himself to finish off that wall. Do we have Hall of Thanes? No Hall of Thanes yet, don't really need it. We actually have Sun Tzu with the first Hall of Thanes. But Herro, knowing he has the population advantage, will just try to push the issue. And should be able to continue to push. And with losing that fight, Herro is not gathering, I guess he's just gathering some food from his cattle. So he's making quite a few axemen and continuing to push into Sun Tzu's base, and Sun Tzu will have a couple of Hersier pop out on the wrong side. They're running up, away. Chasing a Valkyrie. And Sun Tzu is almost out of base food. He's got about 500 more food left in the form of cows. And then he's out. And this is quite a strong army he's got to push back against. And it is not looking good for Sun Tzu. Yeah, losing a few throwing X-Men, one I guess, to the town center fire. And we'll get in and force these Villies idle. And just Sun Tzu losing building after building after building. I mean, we look at temple, house, two barracks up here. Yeah, it's not looking good at all. And these guys tried to do a little raid, and there's just nothing for them to raid. Herro is safely sitting in his base and still has all the chicken if he needs it. Sun Tzu taking a little fight here, which isn't a terrible fight for him, but as soon as Sun Tzu turned, losing his Hersier up there as well. Oh, yep, got that one. Sun Tzu having to build houses and everything right next to his base. Look at all this idleness going on. And yeah, he has no more food and no wood to make any farms, so it is over for Sun Tzu. Yeah, it is GG. That first fight just took a very bad fight. What does Chicks like to say? Chicks mispronounces so many words, and I'm pretty sure he does it on purpose. Like he pronounced that, you know how Hades has shades? He pronounces them as shadies. And no matter how many times I've told him that's wrong, he still pronounces them as shadies. And there's other things that he does too that are just completely wrong. But anyway, about this fight, dwarves are trying to tank damage, but the Hersiers are and throwing axemen are overpowering Mr. Sun Tzu, who is, you know, I guess this fight is going as good as it could for him, but he's losing all his villies and his ox carts and more villies and throwing axemen. Centennials, does he? And that is the army for Sun Tzu, and a few dwarves for Sun Tzu. And Herro still has a full army, and this gold mine is out. Herro will move down here to this one. He already has a Valkyrie. And that will be about it. Oh, she's gonna kill. Oh, finish off that ox cart though, my lady. There you go. So the Valkyrie finishes off the ox cart to add insult to injury. These dwarfs are idle anyway, and Sun Tzu really taking the last game hard and not resigning. Imagine not quitting at this point. Yeah. I mean, it is the last tournament game for him, but I think the dwarves fight back. I think at some point it kind of turns into not wanting to resign to just kind of BMing and just wasting time. Which this is, at this point, is a grand waste of time. Although Herro's army is kind of down. And we've still got these throwing axemen getting pumped out. And a gold mine out there, and the villies on that tree there. Oh, he does have pickaxe. Uh-oh. Will the dwarves fight back? He's building farms and everything. Well, Mr. Carlo, the problem is Sun Tzu is primarily a Norse player, and he lost his first two games as Norse, and he actually won his Zeus game. But when it comes to this matchup here, it's just Loki v Loki just tends to be such a snowbally matchup where Sun Tzu lost that first battle and lost it really badly, and it's so hard to come back because the nature of the Loki v Loki. So losing that first battle, and I mean, it was a really bad fight to take. I mean, it should have been pretty obvious to Sun Tzu that he was outnumbered. I mean, when you're counting, I mean, when it's both players have fewer than 10 units and I have like 5 and the enemy has 8, I mean, I think I should probably be able to properly predict that it's not going to go well for me. But yeah, he's just wasting time at this point. But it is the last game of the night, and after this game I will be done, so I guess we'll maybe just continue along and kind of just talk whatever. These dwarves are all idle. What's Herro's eco looking like though? He's fully popped. Is he aging up? No. Doesn't actually have very much food. Like, it's kind of contented himself to go all in on the classical fight. And that's what we have here. And we have, like, Herro is like walling Sun Tzu in. Oh, man. So going into this, Herro ended up getting a forfeit win in his first round and a forfeit win in his second round, and now finally played games in his third round, and ends up winning over Sun Tzu, who won his first 2 rounds. So Herro will move on to play Joe in the semifinals. So Herro versus Joe in the semifinal, and I think we can firmly say that it's Joe will be favored pretty considerably. But the way Herro dismantled Sun Tzu on some of these maps looks really good for Herro. I thought Herro would win. Maybe he hopes Herro drops. Yeah, I thought Herro would win this, but I didn't think he would win it as like solidly as he did. Like the 3 games that he won all 3 pretty handily. And the 1 game that he lost was actually a pretty close game, that one on the Nile, River Nile. So Herro is the winner over Sun Tzu. And the post-game kill-loss ratio, just too good. Especially when we look at just that very first military unit fight, which was right here, where Sun Tzu was fighting it at a disadvantage, and once he loses that first fight pretty heavily, and then just can't ever come back. And I mean, this fight here is actually pretty close, but that's because Sun Tzu is also losing dwarfs at the same time. So he was behind resources all game and behind military, and that was the match. So GG, and we will update that last game. So Loki, we got our Loki v Loki matchup there, but kind of an underwhelming Loki v Loki. It was decided at the first fight at like the 5-6 minute mark. So we got that in, and we will copy the win and paste the duplicate. And then because my friend Jeff from YouTube wanted, game 1 was Migration, game 2 was Sea of Worms, game 3 was River Nile, and then game 4 was Jotunheim. So we had 4 unusual maps in this matchup here. And we will take a quick look at our brackets. And in the chat, we can put that in with the little command. I updated it since last night. So we have the bracket, and we will look at the bracket real fast here. Alrighty, so Herro wins. Let's add that into our scores here. 3-1 over Sun Tzu. So we have Joe is the number 1 seed versus Herro is potentially the number 13 seed. I don't know if the Destroyer really seeded beyond the first few. But Joe versus Herro. I have game 2 and 3 wins mixed up. Dang it, you guys. I do. Oh my goodness. Man. Got this all screwed up. RTS League. Oh, dang it. Alright, so let's look at our bracket again. So, yeah, we've got... well, let's get this out of the way, though. Move you over there. So Joe versus Herro in our first set of semifinals, which will be a best of 7. And down here we still have Skady v Matrius, which I have not yet streamed. I'm not sure if I'll have time to do that. And then I would definitely stream the last quarterfinal match, which would be the winner of Skady or Matrius. But it just depends if I have time, because I'll be working this weekend, and by then I don't want to fall too far behind of the tournament. So I probably won't end up streaming Skady v Matrius, but that's not a for sure thing. But definitely we'll do Shadowvax versus winner And then the winner of this game will play number 2 seed Shelty. And then the finals will be here. So we could potentially see Joe v. Shelty in the semifinals. And recently, Joe and Shelty have kind of been dominating the tournament picture outside of Player, who won the spring tournament, but Player did not participate in this game, or in this tournament, probably because Player primarily only plays Zeus 1v1. So once he gets done with his Zeus, I'm not really sure how good he is with non-Zeus. So that's probably why he didn't sign up. Alrighty. Well, that is it for tonight. So do appreciate you guys watching. I'm glad that Cam is still asleep. I had my little kid started throwing up tonight for a few times. It was really weird. He was on the couch with me, said his stomach hurt, which does usually mean he has to throw up. Then he ran to the bathroom and then came back to the couch and then threw up into the bucket. And then we went to the bathroom and I found out he threw up all over the floor in the cabinet. So that was kind of gross. I had to clean it all up. But that's the wonderful thing of having kids. They get sick. And then we sat in his bed until he fell asleep watching some really... Oh, Fireman Sam. That's what he was watching. Some really goofy kids show. But that will be it for tonight. So had 4 games on some 4 really weird maps, and we'll have quarterfinals probably to do next, but that won't be until next week because I will be working the entire weekend. So probably not until 4 days from now, which should probably be my next stream. So I do appreciate all of you who tuned in to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed. And be sure to tune in next week, or if you can't catch me live, do remember that all of my videos are saved on my YouTube channel, which I will blatantly advertise in my chat, and you will be able to watch. If you can't catch me live and you want to watch, you can watch on YouTube. They also do, I guess, get saved to Twitch, though I think they disappear after like 30 days or something, so feel free to check that out. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be at work, but you guys can have a good weekend, and I'll pretend like I'm having one. So that is it for tonight, guys. Appreciate it, and you guys take care.